Girls, what inappropriate questions about guys have you always wanted answered? Do teen guys always wake up with a boner, or is it just a time-to-time thing, not just teens? Morning wood is a recurring thing even when you're an adult. It's just a biological mechanism. And honestly, a female equivalent happens to me. Whenever I really relax, I'll often get wet. I'm not horny or anything, it just happens. Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Can girls actually tell if they are wet? Yes. Sometimes it feels like you accidentally peed yourself a little, and you panic a bit before you realize it's just discharge. Female and male anatomy are very similar. Jesus. So if you were sitting in a classroom or somewhere you wouldn't wanna have a discharge, can you actually hold it in? Like if I want to pee I can hold it in, and same goes for ejaculation, but do you guys have any control over vaginal discharge whatsoever? No, you can't hold discharge in, just like you can't hold your period in. The issue is that your underwear feels wet and a bit cold. That's the worst. Nothing like cold, uncomfortably wet panties with no panty liner in sight. I'm 38 and frequently do. It's not just teens. It's also not every night. It's got nothing to do with arousal or peeing like some think. To be honest, nobody is quite sure why it happens. However, it's typically believed that it's associated with keeping good erectile health. Also, a lot of people don't know, but just as the penis, a woman's clitoris will expand and fill with blood during stages of REM sleep or before waking up. Do you actually enjoy giving a head to her? Or do you do it just for her? I absolutely love going down on my wife. Any day, anytime. I'd do it for hours if she'd let me. Song for you. Twisting in the Valley by the Jolly Rogers. Fellas, how do you like your balls to be touched? From my experience, everyone seems to have very unique preferences. I'm curious if there are overarching themes. I suppose, softly cup them. As if judging the weight of them. Tapping, no pulling or pushing. You can lift them a bit, but not push them up. Hard to explain. Pretend like you're weighing them. Just touching them does the job. TBH, my balls are weirdly ticklish. Gentle touching is fine, but as soon the lips get anywhere around my inner thigh and ball area, it's so damn ticklish, I burst out laughing. Blowjobs are okay, very much the same for me. You answered your own question. There's no general we like it this way. It's entirely dependent on each guy. Some guys like it, some guys don't. Some guys like it rough and others like it light. Okay, but that's not helpful at all. There's quite a narrow range of pleasurable touches to balls. Nothing hard, no tapping or prodding, really just subtle variations of cupping and gentling petting. From what I can tell, there are 3 types of overarching themes. The no touchy balls you gross. The ball worship requester. And the please fucking pop my balls like they're balloons under high heels is the needle. Does a BJ feel different than sex? Yes, I find a BJ more intense, but not as pleasurable. Nothing beats the feeling of sex though, because you feel friction on the whole length rather than just the top of the penis. Also, it's about the connection with the partner, more connection during sex. Also, if a BJ isn't done right, it can hurt teeth, or feel pointless. Agreed. A BJ is fun, but honestly, I've never been able to get off with one. The closest I ever got, the poor girl had to go at it for about 10 minutes and started having jaw pains before we agreed to stop. A guy told me to use a lot of pressure with my tongue, and I've always had very good feedback after. I'm guessing the extra friction is why. Legit, before I gave my first blowjob I watched a gay porn to see how they did it, and my now husband, who had never gotten off from a blowjob, didn't have that problem with me. Honestly, it's a skill, practice at it, ask for feedback and tips and apply it until you get it right and then keep improving. I think most women would do it as if it was a popsicle thing. It's our fault for calling it sucking, I think. What you do is the right thing, we should call it cylindrically rub. Lol. How do you hide a boner? Point it up into the waistband usually. Depends, we don't get constant erections every time we see a boob or a pretty person. And it isn't always linked to a fully raging boner in 3 seconds. If we get caught off guard, hands in the pockets work. Beyond that, adult males don't really get them every 5 minutes in day-to-day life. We aren't horny while doing our daily duties. Smile. Hands in the pockets work. Yep. If you see a guy rummaging in his trouser pocket or doing a weird kind of crab step with a hand in the pocket, chances are he's rearranging. Dude, stop exposing us. He broke the code. Alert the elders. Snipers in position. What would happen if you tried to bend it in half while it's soft? It's extremely flexible while flaccid. You can make it bend back and stretch it. Make a balloon animal that will get the ladies talking. You can roll it up like a fruit roll-up if we're being honest. You can bend it, twist it, do whatever you want when it is soft. To a point, of course, then it will probably do some damage. Why do guys always draw dicks on things? Dicks are just inherently funny. Hey, that's not exclusively a guy thing. I've seen plenty of girls draw dicks, because it's funny, but it's not only dudes that do that. I can't remember anyone from my old school not drawing dicks on everything, cause why not? Do you really think about your female friends while masturbating? Why and how does that work? Not often. There are times when I haven't done it in a while and my phone's out of reach that I'll think about my long-distance GF and the things we have done. Still, images just don't do it for me anymore though. Yeah, used to be able to get off to thoughts of me fucking pretty much anyone I was attracted to. I was a very horny teenager up until about 25, but now it's tough go get off without a video. You were a teenager until you were 25? Friends, enemies, co-workers, waitresses, teachers, you name it. Neighbors, acquaintances, TV stars, movie stars, radio stars, reporters, game characters, singers, dancers, athletes, Olympians, comic book characters, anime characters, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, podcasters, Uber drivers, receptionists, nurses, doctors, and, of course, your mom. I have fantasized about a ton of people who I would never, ever fuck in real life.